Are coming with a record of 10-1. Chris Atkinson playing the point guard position. Chris Berkeley also at the guard. Elijah Bailey. Devontae Green, who is the shooter to watch out for, one of the leading scorers on all of Long Island. And Roger Campbell, 6'9" junior, round out the starting five for John Buck's LI Lutheran Crusaders. For the Linden Tigers under Phil Colicchio, Jawan Dolbryce, the 5'10" senior point guard. Josh Carter, he's a senior guard. Otis Livingston, averages just under 15 a game, he's a senior. Khalif Crawford and Fritz Monison, a junior for Phil Colicchio and the Linden Tigers.
Well, this is a Long Island Lutheran team that fell 6 points short of being crowned New York State Federation champions last year. Very experienced group. They returned the majority of their team from last season. As far as Linden goes, made it all the way to the Tournament of Champions. They fell to eventual champion St. Joseph's by 4 points. A team that's really known for relentless and tough pressure defense. Should be an entertaining matchup here tonight.
Both of these teams have appeared at the Dan Finn Classic in the past. I'll tell you what, Seth, a lot of times for the last game of the evening, it's the fourth time I've done the Dan Finn Classic, the building pretty much empties out. There's still more than a passing interest, I think, from the observers here at this anchor game in the 2015 edition.
Well, there's a curiosity. These are two teams that don't really tangle, and they're both strong in their respective leagues and respective states. Both have high expectations, and I think the fans here are fascinated. Plus, it's a Saturday night, so what else would you rather be doing than watching some good basketball?
Absolutely. Roger Campbell wins the tip. And Long Island Lutheran in the road black uniform with red trim, moving from our broadcast left to right. Left corner three is off the mark.
I'll tell you what I like about that first possession. Crisp passing around the perimeter by Long Island Lutheran.
I believe that was Chris Atkinson who put up that three-pointer. Got to check our uniform numbers again. And a quick turnover by the Tigers. Here's Devontae Green. Swings around high for Bailey. Bailey's pull-up 15-footer is off. Dolbryce cuffs the rebound, but loses it off his own foot. Sluggish start here for the Tigers. Devontae Green throws it off the fingertips of Chris Atkinson. So each team struggling at the outset.
Yeah, that was just an errant pass. No real pressure out on the perimeter, which forced that pass out of bounds. Just miscommunication on the offensive end.
There's Otis Livingston, hands up high for Khalif Crawford with the fancy dribbling. Crusaders playing a man defense. And a bump foul up high as Crawford started to make his move. First foul on the Crusaders. Livingston directing traffic. Josh Carter swings left side for Dolbryce. Dolbryce has Devontae Green guarding him. Steps through, and a hand check is called. So not a lot of whistles in our last game between the Panther School and St. Anthony's. A couple of quick fouls called in the first 86 seconds. Nice capture and take there by Otis Livingston, who finger rolls it off the glass for the first points of the game. Quick transition and an answer for Devontae Green going end to end to tie the score 2. Otis Livingston now pounding the dribble, moves past Atkinson, but into a sea of black jerseys. Right side three by Dolbryce is off. That one rolls off the foot of Roger Campbell.
I'll tell you what, the composure might not be there, but the energy level for both teams is certainly there to start this game.
Quentin Dixon, number 35 in for Linden. That inbound pass by Dolbryce was thrown right into the hands of the defender, Devontae Green.
That's the second straight time where Lehigh pressured the inbound very well.
Almost stolen, and a nice effort there by Livingston. Here's Elijah Bailey in the corner, working down low for Berkeley. Roger Campbell with the layup, and it's a 4-2 lead for the Crusaders. Khalif Crawford thought he had a clear lane, but he didn't. Ends up having it knocked out of bounds. Tigers will keep it with the baseline inbound. James Julius into the game for Linden, as Khalif Crawford has the seat. Julius in the corner, has Green on him. Bounce pass for a cutting Livingston, kicks out right side for a three from Dixon is off.
Quentin Dixon, the 6'3" forward, the senior.
Pass down low for Campbell, but he puts up an air ball. Quentin Dixon is a wide body, but didn't hesitate to put up a three-point attempt. Here's Dixon with the ball. Patrols and puts it home.
Well, we're seeing both aspects of Dixon's game at first. Taking the long-range shot, then showing that he can be fleet of foot as well. Prowess dribbling inside.
Chris Atkinson answers with a three. And Lutheran has a 7-4 lead. Crossover dribble by Livingston. Kicks outside for Josh Carter. Penetrates his finger roll layup from the backside is deflected over the rim. But a foul called. Boy, that foul was on Devontae Green. That's 2 fouls on him. That could be a game changer in the first 3.5 minutes of play.
He's one of the key returners for this Long Island Lutheran team this year. Brings back several players. 6'2" junior is Green.
Josh Carter makes the first free throw. Sets for the second, touches the rim but doesn't fall. And Jose Martinez with the Crusader carom. 7-5. Long Island Lutheran by a pair. Man defense by the Tigers. Pull-up jumper by Bailey is good. Elijah Bailey squares from 16 and puts it down. (9-5) Crusaders with the lead. Dixon stutter steps, hands outside. Quick ball movement gets it back for Dixon. Dixon moves that big body through the paint, spins it up and doesn't get the roll. Well, that was a pretty artistic move. Just didn't get the result. Turnover by Chris Berkeley. And here are the Tigers running the floor as Josh Carter hits the layup, and it's a 9-7 Crusader lead. Here's Justin Brown in traffic. He turns it over, and the Tigers on the run again. spin by Livingston, who almost loses it and finally does as it's ripped away with authority by Brown. Brown now looks cross court, and that ball goes through the hands of Elijah Bailey. A sloppy sequence for each team results in Tiger possession.
Almost too much energy right here. Perhaps both coaches want to reel in their teams. Too much excitement and anticipation.
Here's Khalif Crawford. Hands outside for Joey Krempa, who's just come in for the first time. Bounce pass into the corner, and the stutter step is a travel on Crawford.
There really hasn't been clear separation between either of these teams. They look relatively evenly matched in the opening moments here. Nobody has really separated themselves yet.
Atkinson kicks to the corner for an open jumper by Martinez, but it's well long. And out of bounds it will go to the Linden Tigers.
And you could tell out of the release that he would misfire by plenty.
Well, Devontae Green on the bench with 2 fouls. And we'll see if the Crusaders can function offensively without their leading scorer. Here's James Julius in traffic. Picked up by Jordan Weeks on the switch. Now looking to isolate up high. And turned it over. Well defended there by Jordan Weeks as James Julius tried to isolate.
Well, a carry right there. Yeah, we've been stuck on 9-7 now for quite some time.
Fritz Monson in the game. Long Island Lutheran with a 2-point edge. Well defended play there by Monson, who's just come into the contest. Comes up with the steal. Pull-up jumper from 16 is good. James Julius knocks it down to tie the score at 9. Chris Berkeley now looking for help. Finds Weeks in the corner. Back up high for Chris Berkeley. Berkeley's shot is thrown away. And that was Monson with the block.
Monson showing his vertical ability. Rising and rejecting that shot away.
Well, it's been a day of promising matchups, but the final results have not been all that close. This one staying even through 6.5 minutes. As Livingston stumbles but retains the dribble. There's Khalif Crawford trying to spread the floor, but Crusaders packing back on D. Livingston takes the return feed, and he'll reset the offense. Livingston now isolating on Justin Brown. Through traffic, kicks to the corner, and again, Tigers will reset as Crawford has it outside. A minute to play in the half, and a bump foul. Basket won't count.
They get Chris Atkinson. A little too much contact on the perimeter right there, no question.
Yeah, and that's the second foul on Atkinson. So now Atkinson and Devontae Green both on the bench. If you wonder why the Crusaders' offense is dried up in the latter stages of this first quarter, that's why. And that's a backcourt violation. That's a good call. We were right here right near the midcourt line, and Khalif Crawford wasn't happy about it, but he did lose track of where he was and catch that ball carried into the backcourt. So now Long Island Lutheran will try to hold. We'll see if they hold for one shot or if they attack the basket earlier. Here's Martinez. Hands off for Berkeley straight away. Right side Bailey to the corner for Brown. Brown spins into traffic. Kicks cross court for Bailey. Bailey looks for Martinez as the game clock is down to 30 seconds. And after all that nifty passing work, Crusaders turn it over without a shot. So now at 24 seconds, we'd expect the Tigers to make the attempt at holding for one. Score tied at 9. Here's Livingston. Livingston hands off for Dolbrice. Dolbrice with a dish down low, but takes the return. Left side, here's Crawford for 3, air ball. And with 3 seconds to go, still a chance for the Crusaders. Long shot for Justin Brown is off the mark. The rebound put up and in, but after the buzzer by Chris Berkeley. And that ends a very competitive first quarter. Doesn't get any more even as Linden and Long Island Lutheran are tied at 9.
Yeah, entertaining ball game. Both teams neck and neck here to start this one off. And I would say out of the ones that we've seen today, Steve, and we certainly have plenty of ways to go here, but this one has the most promise for being an entertaining game down the stretch.
Well, we've watched 21 quarters of basketball here at the Armory in Jersey City, so what's 3 more between friends? As Long Island Lutheran struck with foul trouble in that first quarter. Devontae Green and Chris Atkinson each retiring to the bench with 2 fouls. So all told, I think John Buck probably will not be happy that his team is stuck in a 9-9 tie, but in light of how it could have been, he'll take that. The question with Phil Colicchio and the Linden Tigers is, can they take advantage with those 2 scores? If they either stay on the bench with 2 fouls or if they get back into the game, try to force that 3rd foul on the man defense.
Well, time will tell there, but I'll tell you this, it was an entertaining first quarter, and I'll say that both teams are fairly evenly matched. Certainly an exciting start to this ball game, and it's good to be here as we wrap up this Dan Finn Classic.
Again, if you joined us late, we just finished watching St. Anthony's High School with a pretty methodical performance in a 58-37 win over the Patrick School, 2 of the top 5 schools in the state of New Jersey. Really not much of a contest here at the Armory, as St. Anthony's treated it as though it were home court. The whistle works, and we're glad to know that. We're underway in the second quarter of our 6th and final game. 5 varsity contests, 1 girls and 4 boys. It's been a long day. Ball comes back to Linden. Quentin Dixon comes out of the pile with the ball. Dixon sees some quality minutes for this Linden team, even though he didn't get the start tonight. Carter hands up high for Julius, pulls up for a long 3. That's off the mark. Justin Brown out of traffic. Devontae Green and Chris Atkinson still on the bench for the Crusaders. So John Buck electing to keep his starters sitting with 2 apiece. Boy, that's a nice shot by Chris Berkeley, who ran into a wall of Quentin Dixon, but still forced it home to give Lutheran a 2-point edge.
Well, he wasn't fazed by the contact. He ran into a wall and just stuck with the shot.
Well, Otis Livingston pump faked. Got his man soaring through the air. Foul was on Justin Brown. Jordan Weeks has a seat. And Chris Atkinson is back into the game now for the Crusaders, and a turnover forced on the inbound. Dixon actually called for an offensive foul as the Tigers tried to get it inbound, so they trail by 2. We played a minute in the second quarter. Here's Devontae Green, who's also back into the game with 2 fouls. Atkinson pulls up for 3, puts up an air ball. Offensive rebound grabbed in the corner by Jose Martinez, but he dribbled it on the baseline, so a turnover after the offensive board.
I like the way that Long Island Lutheran moves the basketball. Quick passes around the perimeter. Had a couple of possessions where they've moved the ball well and haven't been able to finish, but more often than not, when you pass the ball that well, you're going to create reasonable opportunities for yourself to score.
Dixon from way downtown puts it off the rim and out of bounds. So a team rebound goes to the Crusaders as they will take it back with a 2-point edge.
Phil Colicchio, the head coach for this Linden team, clearly not happy with Quentin Dixon's shot selection on that play.
Pull up right side jumper by Berkeley is off. Nice play there by Dixon, diving to the ground to slap that one away. In transition, here's Livingston, puts it up, good in the foul! Otis Livingston ties the game with a chance to give Linden the lead.
And Quentin Dixon redeemed himself, dives on the floor, slams the ball out. That led to the transition play, and I would say that he's redeemed himself.
Yeah, it's nice hustle and a good second effort as Phil Colicchio encourages his team on. We just saw the finish by Otis Livingston on that replay, and he's now at the line. And in fact, he does give the Linden Tigers a lead, 12-11. Only one foul on Linden. It was that offensive foul on Dixon a few moments ago. Three-point attempt well off the mark by Devontae Green, not able to get into the offensive flow. Takes the ball, throws into traffic, kicks to the right corner for three, is good. Jose Martinez with a tray from the corner, and the Crusaders back up a pair.
And Blue High's ability to score on that possession all set up by the offensive rebound.
Linden briefly took the advantage. Nice backdoor feed looking for Dixon. He's swatted in traffic, as Jose Martinez got a piece of that. Quick transition basket for Chris Atkinson, but he missed the layup. Livingston goes glass but comes up short. End to end we go, and Green is ahead of the field and lays it home with the left hand. John Buck gives his team an emphatic fist pump from the Long Island Lutheran bench as the Crusaders are up by 4. You have to wonder if Linden didn't miss an opportunity late in that first quarter with Chris Atkinson and Devontae Green on the line, who bench with 2 fouls apiece. Livingston off the dribble drive, takes the return feed, now in traffic, and that's waved off for a travel. Quick feed on the defense of the Long Island Lutheran Crusaders.
Well, the momentum clearly with Blue High right now. Opportunity to separate themselves here with a 4-point lead.
Quentin Dixon goes to the Linden bench as Monison comes back in. Right side three by Bailey is off. Long rebound. Bailey follows his shot but traveled before he put the ball down. Fouls are 6-1 midway through the second quarter. Long Island Lutheran committing 6. Linden with just 1 foul. Here's James Julius directing traffic on the offensive side, calling for the screen by Monson, who sets it high. Right side Dolbreis for 3. That shot hits the front rim and caroms long. Atkinson on the run, looking for help, takes the return pass and sets up the Crusader offense.
You can see that Blue High's MO here is to try to push the tempo.
Well, Devontae Green just had his pocket picked clean, and the driving layup by Khalif Crawford, his first points of the game, cuts the deficit to 2. Here's Berkeley, swings right side, connecting pass to the corner for Martinez. Crossover by Green. Green trying to force it, and Linden collapsing that defense. And that was Chris Berkeley lying out of bounds with the ball. So Linden will take it back, trailing by 2.
Long Island wasn't able to score in that possession, but I will say that I do like their spacing. Been a consistent theme for them here throughout the start of this game. They're spacing very even on the court.
William Phelps, number 33, in for the Linden Tigers. Dolbreis in traffic, dishes off nicely for Julius, who ducks under and puts it home.
I like that. He wasn't fazed by the contact. A lot of traffic in there, and he stayed tough and stayed with it.
And not the first time tonight we've seen someone lose track. Devontae Green that time just having a tough first half. He's got 4 points so far and was standing out of bounds when he received that pass. So with 3:14 to play in the second quarter, we're all tied at 16. Last game of the Dan Finn Classic is a straightaway 3 by Phelps, front rims. Green trying to make something happen. He's eyed up in the man by Julius. Kicks off for Jordan Weeks. Pump fake and a travel by Devontae Green as he just can't get anything going. And you see that happen sometimes, don't you, Seth? 2 early fouls just takes a player out of his rhythm, and Green is just not feeling it at this point.
Now you become more tentative. Tendency is to pull back and not be as aggressive. And if that's your style of play, then sure, it absolutely impacts what you're able to do.
3-pointer for Phelps. That one is just off. Well, Green is getting the rebounds for his team. Now trying to start the offense up as Berkeley kicks to the right side for a pull-up 15-footer by Weeks. That's off. Tracked down by Atkinson, who keeps it alive, but the Tigers keep it. Now that's thrown back into play and corralled by Weeks.
Frenetic pace right here.
Devontae Green stutter steps, kicks to the corner, and passes it into the Linden bench. Wrong team, wrong result.
Either team playing with very much composure right now.
Yeah, Long Island Lutheran calling a timeout to try to settle things down as John Buck wants to chat with his team. I'm sure Phil Colicchio does as well, as we are 2:12 remaining from halftime in what has become the most competitive game of the day. We're all tied at 16.
Yeah, no question about it here. We take a look at Martinez heading the jumper from the quarter. Long Island Lutheran. Again, good ball movement. That's been a theme to me. Is you see the transition bucket by Khalif Crawford of Linden. But I will say the last couple of times down, Steve, Linden, they've settled for threes. And they haven't converted them. So let's see if they go back to the interior game, which has worked for them today when they've been going well.
And it's largely been William Phelps, the junior, who's had 2 opportunities coming off the bench for open trays, and he's missed them both. He's now standing during the timeout, so we'd assume that means that he's going to come out of the game. Linden has not hit a 3-pointer thus far, while Lihu has hit a pair. So Juwan Dolbreis will be coming out of the game as well for Linden. Quentin Dixon checks back in. Roger Campbell will also move back into the Crusader lineup. Dixon with a between the leg dribble goes glass just a little bit too hard.
I'll say this, and it's not to poke fun at him, but if you take a look at Dixon's frame, you wouldn't be able to think that he could do those types of things, but he dribbles the ball very quickly and has a quick move to the basket.
Rushed 3-pointer by Devontae Green is an air ball.
Now Dixon is deceptively fast for the Tigers.
And the jumper from the right side by Khalif Crawford gives the Tigers their biggest lead. It's 18-16. Right side 3 to answer by Weeks is long. And a neat little 2-step there by Chris Berkeley. Sorry, by James Julius. Turns it over for the travel.
Well, John Buck, the head coach for Long Island Lutheran, preaching patience with his team as they'll inbound the ball once again. Neck and neck game here. Doesn't seem like either team playing under very much control right now.
Yeah, Devontae Green taking a seat on the bench, so he is having a first half to forget as a foul away from the basket. It's only the second one on Linden with 1:09 to play in the second quarter. James Julius whistled for the infraction.
On the other hand, Long Island Lutheran with 6.
Only seen 3 free throws in the first half, all taken by Linden, as a nice floater by Jordan Weeks ties us up at 18.
I like that idea by Weeks. He took the pass on the right wing. He was left wide open. The temptation could have been to take the shot, but he drove it and gave himself a higher percentage opportunity.
Inside a minute, and here's Livingston trying to attack left corner Carter. airs out a 3-ball. Here's Jordan Weeks now trying to give the Crusaders the lead back. Pass goes through the hands of Bailey, but corralled and sent back for Atkinson, resetting the Lihue offense. Sorry. Yeah. Lou High, I should say. Lutheran High. Okay, we'll get that right. Left corner, Berkeley pulls it down, looks for Martinez with 20 seconds to go. Berkeley for 3, well long, but the long rebound comes into the corner for Weeks. Sends it back for Atkinson. 7 now on the second quarter game clock. Almost stolen and jumping into traffic was Atkinson. Again, the foul not a big deal with 1.7 seconds to go. It is the second foul on James Julius, though, so that could be costly. Only 3 in the half, but 2 for the reserve guard. Now 1.7 seconds to go, and Linden's got some fouls to give. They could take one right away if they wanted to. And they won't need to, because on the inbound, Atkinson travels. So 9/10 of a second to go. A sloppy end to what will end up being a tie first half, barring something miraculous. The Tigers won't even bother as the first half comes to a close. We've played 2 quarters of ball here at the Dan Finn Classic, and our first tie score at halftime sees Long Island Lutheran and Linden squared at 18.
Oh, very frenetic pace, but there were plenty of points in this first half, Steve, where neither team seemed to play under control. Neither team pulling away, and it looks like a very even matchup now as we go into the second half.
Saw Khalif Crawford hitting the game-tying basket there. 16 minutes in the books. 2 quarters to go in regulation play, he said hopefully. In our final game of the day, Steve Balson, Seth Cantor with you at the Armory in Jersey City. Crowd starting to thin out a little bit, but still a fair amount of people on hand to check out this close basketball game between Long Island Lutheran and Linden High School. Seth, it has been a long and fascinating day of basketball, and more significantly, just being a part of this wonderful day and this wonderful feeling as the Finn family honoring the memory of their late son, Dan, and as well, we've been honoring the life and the memory of Detective Melvin Santiago throughout the day, whose life was taken tragically in an armed robbery. Member of the Jersey City Police Force. That was last summer, 2014. That has been part of the theme of the day, and the Dan Finn Foundation has given back so much to those in need in the community. Scholarships, so many great charities that they have helped in this foundation. That's where all the proceeds go.
Well, you hit it right on the head. The themes of the day have been selflessness and giving. And the Dan Finn Foundation, an organization that does so much for the community on a year-round basis, and really a lot to be proud of here, accomplishing what they've accomplished here once again, the 11th straight year in Jersey City.
Dan Finn lost his life in 2004 due to a hit-and-run driver.